With more than 30 years of experience in family and marital law, our next guest has helped countless families through some of life's toughest moments. And with Domestic Violence Awareness Month coming to a close, we wanted to invite him here to talk about the legal side of getting help and finding protection. So welcome to the show, Dean Kantaras from Kantaras Law. So welcome, so great to have you here.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, tell me a little bit about your law firm.
So we practice primarily marital and family law. There's about 16 lawyers. One does immigration and 15 do family law. Two of us are board certified in marital and family law, myself and Stephanie Cavill. And we're, basically it's a family law litigation firm, a little different than other firms. We mostly are there to either litigate or mediate and resolve things.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, there's so many law firms, right? We see the commercials. So what makes your law firm different?
Well, I think it's the fact that we're capable of litigating. We have the staff. If we have to go to trial, we will. But a lot of times when you prepare for trial, you resolve things a little easier than if you go and can't prepare for trial, but you can't handle the trial, but you do most of the other, try to mediate. You might have leverage to force yourself to settle.
Well, so we mentioned that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Why is it important to bring awareness to domestic violence, not only maybe this month, but throughout the year?
Well, I think most people aren't aware of what's available to them to protect them from these types of events, right? And so there's a process, and hopefully people are aware you don't have to tolerate that kind of, treatment, and there's a way to solve that. Yeah,
well, in practicing family law and divorce law, I'm sure you come across domestic violence quite a bit. What are some of the misconceptions out there about?
Well, I mean, the problem with domestic violence is a lot of people have manipulated it sometimes to get a benefit in a leg up in the litigation in some circumstances, and then in some circumstances people don't believe the process will protect them, right? Because I mean, it's domestic violence. You can get a piece of paper that says they're not allowed to come near you, but that doesn't mean they're not necessarily going to do it anyways. So that's why essentially it should be zero tolerance. If an event happens, you get out. You address it, maybe get the person counseling and or consider getting divorced.
Yeah, how does domestic violence impact, custody cases or during the proceedings? How does it impact that?
So, with the domestic violence injunction, there's a process. You file the petition, and initially the court will grant it without a hearing if they believe there's enough in there. And in there, you can also ask for majority time sharing or, sole parental responsibility temporarily. So that people can use it to posture and get a leg up in the litigation, or in the real circumstance where there's domestic violence and the children have either been present when it occurred or they were themselves affected. Then it's a factor under Section 6113 for custody. Either the existence of domestic violence or the false filing of a domestic violence injunction are two factors the court looks at.
Okay. So if someone's watching and they're maybe in a domestic violence situation and they're thinking of leaving, what advice do you have for them? What are some of the first steps they should take?
So initially, I think they're inclined to try and plan it out, but I think domestic violence is something you can't plan around, right? You never know when it's going to occur. So I think their best thing is get out and then solve their problem after that. If they're, the key is not to be financially dependent on the person, right? Because then they're forced to stay. So they need to see an attorney, get advice, find out what the information is, and take steps to protect themselves and their family members.
Yeah, well, what advice do you have for someone who may be searching for a family lawyer or marital lawyer?
So there are, in the state of Florida, 256 board certified marital and family law lawyers out of about 100,000 lawyers. They're going to know, they're going to give you the best advice on how to handle these situations. And I would suggest looking for a board certified marital and family law lawyer.
Like yourself.
Well, yes, and Stephanie Cavill at the office.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me where people can find you. I know you have a website, correct?
So at the KantarasLaw.com, and then our number is 727-781-0000.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And again, if you want to learn more or to make an appointment, you can just head to KantarasLaw.com.